Hey, what's up? It's your boy Rawk. This is a bad sign. I just can't do this anymore, man. Life is tough. What with having to pay off mortgages, buy furniture, work, socialise with people. These days, I barely even have time to play Wall-E for the DS, and that won't stand. There's gotta be some sort of out here. I could become homeless, but I own a fuck ton of shit, and no matter how hard I try, my desk will not fit into my backpack. Fuck! But what other option do I have? Yeah, that'll do. As of today, I'm officially... Fuck, is that what it feels like to be worthless? Life simulations are one of the most prolific genres of video games. No matter where you run, no matter where you hide, they will find you. Get the f*** away from me! Most gamers have a soft spot for this genre. The Sims, Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, these games sell millions and millions of units each. But I've never quite got why. For me, video games as a medium have always been a way to get away from reality and fully immerse myself in a different world full of excitement and waddle-dees. So the whole concept of life sim games has never really made all too much sense to me. Like, why would you play a game where you have a house, a mortgage, furniture to buy, and fields to do a heaping helping of f*** all on, when you could do all of that in real life? I hate this. And yet, despite the fact that I find the entire appeal of this genre to be absolutely baffling, man, it has sucked me in. I absolutely love a good life simulator from time to time. There's an undeniable charm to them, and whenever a new one releases, there is always one series that they're compared to. One series that to this day remains unchallenged for the life simulator throne. Bubsy.
Nintendo.
Animal Crossing. This gem released on the Nintendo GameCube on October 17th, 2003 here in the UK. And man, is there a game series that's as cozy as Animal Crossing? This game redefined the life sim genre, and even all these years later, it still stands strong as one of the best ones out there. Initially developed for the Nintendo 64 DD for Japan exclusively, the game would utilise the add-on's built-in clock and would see the events of the game happen in real time. The game was conceptualised after lead developer Katsuya Iguchi moved away from his family to work for Nintendo in Kyoto, and he started to feel isolated and alone. He wanted to recapture the feeling of spending time with loved ones, and this was the core concept he developed the game around. After the N64 DD absolutely flopped, the game released as Animal Forest on a standard Nintendo 64 cartridge in Japan only, and was the only cartridge ever released for the system that had a clock built into it, because Mario Party 3 just couldn't utilise one, unfortunately. The game was ported to the GameCube in Japan, translated to English for an enhanced port worldwide, and then translated back to Japanese again for an even more enhanced port. Confused? Good, that's life, deal with it. Now I got this game in 2019 and it only took until now for my life to go to shit. I wonder if I could have gotten it any cheaper if I had just waited. I wonder if the government will let me pay off my debt with a GameCube game. I have no idea why this game got so expensive, but hey, I managed to snag this game for a quarter of the price it's going for nowadays. Go me! So let's see if I can fix my life by starting another. I'm going to play through the original Animal Crossing and try and see everything that it has to offer. I'm going to delve into this game and see how much better it can make my life. I'm going to make so many new friends, I'm going to live in a lovely house with all of the furniture I could ever want, I'll pay off my mortgage, and I'll be the happiest I've ever been. Tomorrow. But for right now, my biggest priority is getting a good night's sleep. It's already 12:15 AM, so I'm making a great start on that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go to bed and get ready for my brand new life. See you later. What the fuck? 6 in the morning, what the hell? Animal Crossing opens up with us on a train at stupid o'clock in the morning. I've just woken up and I don't want to be on a goddamn train. I also don't want to be spoken to by this fucking guy. Nope, I do not. How did he know? I have a pact to only let people sit with me if they aren't planning to drool on me. You just threatened to fucking drool on me! Cool then, don't. Well, somebody didn't listen to the first 5 words I said yesterday. I'd be so pissed if that was what I actually said. At least he knows. I mean, it's a fine name other than the fact that it isn't fucking mine! It's impressive that you can be so incorrect so consistently. I do. I don't know. Huh. Alright, so I'm headed to a pre-existed town that I've never even been to, and yet I get to name it. I am so glad I get to check that one off the bucket list today. Well, contrary to popular belief, I'm not a professional town namer, so I'm going to consult Google. I hate having legs. Alright, so apparently it's best to name your town after 2 things that you love. So obviously Chibi Robo's going to be in there, but if there's one thing that I love more than Chibi Robo, it's fucking circles. Yes! So we're gonna go with Robodome. Robodome! Oh god, what if it's a bad name? What if I've just humiliated myself in front of the town naming community? I don't want to be known as the guy who fucked up naming their first town. What will they think of me? Oh, thank Christ. So it turns out that we're fucking stupid and decided to embark on a journey to a new town with no plan, no money, and nowhere to live. That was a great idea! Rover is absolutely befuddled by our choice. You ever get called an idiot by the kid who shoved sand up his nose? He then runs to the back of the train and causes this bull to have a panic attack. Weirdly one of the more normal sentences I've said today. When Rover returns, he tells us that he has a friend who's just dying to give me a house for the low price of I have no money. Rover calls us helpless and then says, "Too bad, bitch, the train is arriving in Robodome. Good luck, but also f*** you." You've been nothing but nasty to me since the minute you sat down. But you did hook me up with a house, and you're the only person I can put any degree of trust into right now. Which makes the fact that we're never going to see each other ever again that much more hurtful. Alright, so I was able to pick up some breakfast as I was getting off the train. I am so happy that I have an entire hour to eat 4 slices of apple and a chocolate bar. Yeah, this town isn't making the best first impression. How many times do I have to tell people no? This is Tom Nook, arguably the biggest name in the Animal Crossing franchise. Apart from maybe Benedict. He's been the face of the series since this very moment, greeting you at the beginning of your journeys every single time. And people fucking hate him. And I don't understand why. Like sure, here in the original game he calls us a fucking loony for moving out without any plans on where we're gonna live, but we can tell him to shut the hell up, so it's fine. He then gives us a house with only a few minutes warning. Like come on, the houses might not have any locks, but he's still giving us a really good deal. Alright, I picked the greenhouse because I thought it would be funny. And Tom Nook's even giving us the radio for free. The nerve of this guy for being so generous. Tom also gives us a gyroid. Well, that's a fun way of saying slave. Now that's the most colourful threat I've ever seen. Tom tallies the total cost of our home and it comes out as 19,800 bells. Who needs that many bells? Nah, bells are the currency of this game, and just like real life currency, they lose their value pretty damn quickly. But hey, they make a Mario sound effect, so that makes them cool and stuff. Ah, I only have 1,000 bells. Have you ever heard of not harassing the poor? I hear it's pretty in these days. Oh god. This can't be good. Oh god, I never thought my life would be ended at 7:43 AM. I was not prepared for this! Everything I've ever known is a lie. Obviously this is an issue. Tom makes that abundantly clear. But like all issues, this one can be solved with labour. Great. Not only do I have to work now, but I have to get out of bed too! Alright, so I finished my 4 apple slices, but I was just too full for the chocolate bar. I put on some clothes, and I'm ready to work. Let's hope the commute isn't too bad. It could be worse. Our new job is at Nook's Cranny, and when we arrive, Tom Nook gives us a slick uniform to change into. But what he doesn't give us is a place to change in private, so I'm just gonna mosey on over to the back of the shop and hope that he isn't checking me out. Our first official job is to plant some flowers and trees around the outside of the shop, and man, I gotta say, I am nailing this! This chore scores us a whopping 80 bells. I would be disgusted if I could comprehend how little that was. And our next job is to go and meet all of the townsfolk. Great, now I have to go talk to other humans. How did he know they were my 12 least favourite syllables in order? I was somehow completely unprepared for this. True to a solid 50% of the series name, all of the villagers in Animal Crossing are animals. Something that I somehow hadn't considered after this, and this. But who am I to judge? Humans were always going to be unlikable to some extent with our sweaty finger grease. But unless nature has had a rough couple of years, then that shouldn't be an issue here. So, who lives in Robodome? Well, we have Daisy the dog, who seems pretty nice. We have Hambo the pig, who's more excited to meet me than anybody else ever has been. We have Tabby the cat, who has a face only a mother could love, but she makes up for that with her winning personality. We have Sven the goat, who's about solid 14 ounces away from the grave. We have Qumu frog, who makes it abundantly clear that he isn't a morning person. I've never had this much in common with a frog. And finally, we have Freya the wolf. She's a bitch. Yeah, a lot of the villagers in this game spend a lot of their time loathing the fact that you were ever born, which admittedly has its charm, but I also never quite understood this. The game was designed to capture the feeling of moving away from familiarity, but I've never once moved to a new town only to have the people there want to burn the very ground that I walk on. What makes this a lot more forgivable though, is the fact that over time, with enough perseverance, the animals will grow to like you. They will eventually stop wanting you buried alive. It just takes a while. Alright, so I've met all the residents of my town, but I did run into this guy Copper. I've never seen a more on-the-nose name in my life. Trust me, I'm as suspicious as you are about me being up this early. Turns out though, Copper and his buddy Booker run a lost and found facility, where you can go inside and pretend the things there belong to you. This is the most fun I've had with robbery in at least 4 days. Alright, Tom said I should go see the mayor, who looks even closer to the grave than Sven, and I don't think I'm helping things because I just gave him a heart attack. Oh, definitely my buddy Ed. He's the most honourable son of a bitch. He wasn't an option. Well, I feel like I wouldn't be able to sleep well tonight if I didn't pick my grandma. That's not to say that I've got anything against the other three, but come on, nobody makes cookies like my grandma. Okay, 2 things. I would describe my grandma as a lot of things, but youth is not one of them. And what the hell do you have against my grandma? She only ever food poisoned 2 people and neither of them were you! Every town in Animal Crossing has different townsfolk, and over the course of the game, you'll gain new ones and lose the old. And with there being over 200 villagers in this game alone, your town is always going to have a unique feel, whether that be compared to how it used to be, or compared to other people's towns. In later entries, the villagers somewhat took a backseat in terms of being the most unique aspect of any given person's village, but in this game, the animals you have are truly what define your town, which, in my opinion, is one of the lesser celebrated aspects of the GameCube original. Now that we've met all of the villagers in our town, there's only one thing left to do. Let's get them ranked. Daisy is a solid A. She's been nothing but kind to me, and she seems like the kind of dog who I could trust to not lick my toes. Hambo, also great. He's the kind of guy who'd always be trying to put a smile on my face, and even if he failed, I'd appreciate him for it. Tabby's alright. She was very welcoming, but she's giving Rover a run for his money in the realm of people who I think would drool on me. Sven is in the stay away tier, purely because I don't want to scare him into a coffin. And if I were to rank Tortimer, he'd go here too. Freya is the worst. She said one negative thing about me and I will forever hate her for it. She belongs in the f*** tier for sure. And Qumu frog. He is by far the best villager in this village. I mean, sure, he can be a bit cranky, but come on, it was before 11 in the morning. Who could blame him? He's sitting comfortably in the relatable tier. And Tom Nook. Shit, I should probably get back to work, shouldn't I? Alright, back into the cranny we go. I hope that isn't slang. Next up, Tom Nook has us being his delivery boy. Makes sense. And we get to see Qumu frog. Hell yeah! Well, there goes my plans for the next 45 minutes. He asks why he's so tired in the morning, and Christ almighty, how many times do I have to say same before we're quiz partners? He wants us to spit in his ear before telling us it's good to have money. Thanks, I never would have known. And then he asks if I feel lucky. Should I feel lucky? And he gives me a bug zapper. Yeah! He then goes on a whole ramble about furniture placement, but man, who cares? I have a bug zapper! I don't need a mortgage! Back at the cranny once again, and Tom pays us 230 bells. Definitely a solid step up from our last payment, but still little enough for me to be considered a poverty. Tom then telepathically hears me bitching about not having a map, and after a shunning, he begrudgingly gives me one. Thanks. My next job is to write a letter to Sven about the store and its many products, which ordinarily I'd be fine with, but I'm scared that if Sven gets a paper cut, he'll disintegrate. Tom gives us absolutely zero instruction on what to write on this letter, other than the fact that I should tell Sven that I am me. So now all I need to do is think of an enticing message to send directly to one of Nook's Cranny's most loyal customers. Perfect. We head over to the post office to mail our letter where we meet Phyllis, yet another addition to our tier list. She's a mean-spirited bitch. After we send our letter, it's time to go back and see Nook, who docks my pay because I took too long. I couldn't have possibly been any quicker. If I stayed in the post office any longer, Phyllis would have skinned me alive. And then he basically tells us to find something to do ourselves because he didn't think to plan ahead. I can't really say anything being the one who moved to a new town with no preparation, but come on, man. So instead of being productive, we have to go help the villagers with their lives, and one look at this face tells me I'm in for one hell of a ride. Well, seeing as Tom Nook neglected to give me anything to do for the next hour, I'm gonna neglect to care. I'll think about helping the villagers out later, but for now, it's been a solid 4 hours since I've eaten, so I'm gonna see if I can find any food anywhere. In Animal Crossing, every town has its own native fruit, whether it be apples, pears, peaches, oranges, or cherries. Robodome is known worldwide for its cherries, and I'm gonna take an equally hearty huff and puff to get some of these suckers down from this here tree. Consumption strikes again, but I'm more of an apple guy, so I think me and the cherries are gonna leave it as a one-night stand. I'm feeling generous though, so I'm gonna give my gyroid a cherry and hope to God that one of his face holes can be used for the whole concept of eating everyone seems to be getting suckered into these days. And hey, while we're near home, may as well head on in there and deposit some goods. Of course, the only good I have on me is my trusty bug zapper, which is an item deserving of a spot in any self-respecting person's home. And man, this corner is just yearning to be filled, and ladies and gentlemen, with that I have hit my peak. Time to head back outside and see if anybody needs my help, because I'm clearly the most capable person to handle any and all problems these animals may have going on in their lives. Daisy is first on the docket, so I hit her with a swift, "Can I help you?" And do I have good news for any and all rejection fanboys out there, because she doesn't seem to need my help right now. Meaning I have no other choice than to ask Freya. Damn it, Daisy, be in distress next time so I don't have to pretend to care about Freya. I talked to Freya and she seems to be playing nice with me, but I won't be fooled for 1 second. She can obviously sense that I'm on a streak of good deeds. Let me tell you, Wolf's ability to sniff out good intentions has been a real pain in the arse as of late. She's more than happy for us to help her. Hooray. But it's all worth it because we get to go see Camafrog again and get back Freya's Pokemon Pikachu. I have several questions, which include but are far from limited to why. Because I'm a huge proponent of not immediately succumbing to the kindness shtick Freya has going on, I'm gonna go ask Hambo if he needs help. I find him running towards a tree and he proceeds to tell me he's far too busy to get his comic back from Daisy himself and asks me to do it for him. Honestly, I respect his priorities. Calling any and all people who happen to be named me, I regret to inform you that it's 11:32, which means it's time for you to go help Freya. Truly, this is a sad day for all of me kind. Camafrog apologizes profusely for keeping her Pikachu for so long, but if I were him, I would have kept it for a metric 7 weeks longer. But I guess this is why Camafrog is on another level of being to the rest of us. I take her beloved Pikachu back to her and she's surprised that I was able to find it, and she's even more surprised that she appreciated what I did for her. She then ends the convo by giving me a fucking pencil, and she has officially redeemed herself as the worst person in this town. I then head over to Daisy's to get Hambo's comic, but oops, she lent it to Tabby without asking. Great. But I mean, come on, how could I ever stay mad at Daisy? Of course I'll go find Tabby and get the thing back. The Irritation Station is making its journey to Aggravated Island. Population, me. Because Tabby also contracted incompetency and gave the book to Sven. I better hold in this sneeze, I might blow him into the ocean with it. Thankfully he sees me coming and therefore isn't diagnosed with manslaughter before... Now we have to head back over to Camafrog, who supposedly has the book now. Is there anybody left in this town who hasn't taken this goddamn thing? We head over to our Lord and Saviour and thank him! He had the book all along. What a whirlwind and a half. We give Hambo his book back and in return he gives me a nondescript piece of furniture and tells me I do good work. Truly, I'm touched. Turns out he gave me a space heater, and let me tell you, I've been waiting 4 whole minutes to fill another corner of my room. Well, I think I've had enough of socialising with the animals for... ever. I think it's high time for me to head back to work. Jesus Christ, what has this game done to me? Our next job is to deliver a carpet to Hambo, and get this, I did. He gives me his old hand-me-down carpet. I've never felt so enlightened by a gift. We head back to Tom and he tells us we're so good he would want us working full-time. Again, how can people dislike this guy? He also pays us 580 bells. Finally some decent pay. He then asks us to deliver an axe to Sven. I'd ask why he needs an axe, but I'm scared that I get an answer. I nervously head over to Sven, who casually changes the topic of the conversation and pulls out the letter I sent him. That's not worrying at all! But hey, he seemed to appreciate me pushing my Pikmin agenda, so I'll let the little axe incident slide. He then tells me he might move out of Robodome one day and take my letter with him. Buddy, I hate to break it to you, but the only way you're leaving this place is in a hearse. Tom smacks us in the face with the crushing reality that our work is only worth 230 bells, an uber yikes if I do say so myself. And after crushing our souls, with no hesitation, he gives us another job. I'm gonna need some solid prep time before I can tackle this one. Alright, after a good, decent, great 17 minutes, I've deduced what the best possible thing for me to write on this bulletin board is. I've came up with something thought-provoking, something thrilling, something unlike anything these animals have ever seen before. What can I say? I'm a man of the arts. Tom doesn't even ask us what we wrote on the board, so apparently my efforts won't even be appreciated. And he's firing me. Yeah, Tom realises he had jack diddly squat left for us to do, and decided to let us go. We ended up paying off a measly 1,400 bells from our loan. I feel like there were more efficient ways to tackle this. He then basically tells us to figure out how to pay the rest off ourselves. Guys, have you ever met a better landlord? And before you ask, Jesus doesn't count. I've never been fired before now, but I gotta say, this seems like an appropriate reaction. After you finish all of the tasks Tom asks you to complete, you're free to do whatever the hell you want. Sure, he asks you to work towards paying off your loan, but look me in the eye and tell me you want to do that. This part-time job is about as tutorial-y as an Animal Crossing tutorial can get, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't decently fun. It really sets the scene of how Animal Crossing works by having you meet up with everyone in the village and perform menial tasks for them. It shows you exactly what to expect from the game. And if you didn't know whether or not you'd be into this game, then you definitely get a good to great idea just from this tutorial section. As for me, I'm sold. Even though I got fired, there's just something about Nook's cranny that's pulling me back in. So if you don't mind me, I'm gonna go see Nook. And he's trying to get me to join a cult. If I had a pound for every time a raccoon fired me from his shop and then asked me to join a cult the next time I was there, let's just say I wouldn't be in debt. And the cult in question is the Happy Room Academy, where some random animals come and critique how I decide to lay out my home. And as much as I love my bug zapper, I feel like it would only be appreciated by a fairly niche audience, so I think I'm gonna duck out. Well then next time don't give me an option. If I can take the lazy way out, I will. Alright, well with that I've been forced to join a service that I didn't want to join. Now on a completely unrelated note, I need to buy this shovel. Whoops, I forgot that I'm completely poverty stricken. Tom said he would buy stuff from me, but I somehow doubt he would want my cherries. If that's all it takes to make money, I could have been rolling in it by now! Alright, I finally have a shovel. Tom recommends using it to dig things up, but honestly, have you ever really owned a shovel if you haven't smacked it against a rock? That'll be my first order of business, but for now, how about this clock? Alright, it's time to take the shovel for a spin. If it survives the rock test, then it was truly a worthwhile purchase. This game gives me so much money, it's scary. Okay, fine, maybe I should listen to Tom's advice and try and dig something up. If I don't dig up this star right now, then the whole concept of existence has lost all meaning. I need more of them. Hey, looks like I can have a Nintendo 64 collection in Animal Crossing too. And hey, on my hunt for fossils, I found this place called the Abel Sisters. Let's see what's inside. We're greeted by Sonic the Hedgehog and he tells me that I am the famous fashion designer. Knuckles is in the back too. I'm not sure if these guys understand what a sister is. I try to talk to Knuckles and he completely shrugs me off. Knuckles, you bitch! I talk to Sonic again and ooh, I can design a pattern. It'll cost 350 bells. Steep but understandable. And I can only keep 8 designs. Boo! And I'll have to get rid of one to make my own? Man, that just won't do! I'm out of here. Oh hey, looks like I missed a fossil like an idiot. Let me just quickly dig it up. What the f*** is that? Gyroids are another collectible in Animal Crossing that can be found in dig spots after it's either rained or snowed. I really wish someone had have warned me about that. But hey, you live and you learn, right? Heading back to Nook's Cranny with a hankering to waste money, so I'm going to spend 1,300 of my 1,600 bells on this owl clock because... Its eyes also move. Name me a good clock whose eyes doesn't move. And yes, I'll wait. This'll bump up my house score. Alright, get this. So it started raining, and it only took me until now to realise that I've been wearing a hat this entire time. I should probably go see somebody about those horns. Random weather is another staple feature of the series, and I don't know why, but something about the rain in the original game is so endearing. Ooh, I got a ladder. What could it be? I'm positive you could have used a less terrifying word than monitoring, but it's fine. Ever since I found out about the rain 17 seconds ago, I made it my life goal to spend as much time as possible in it. But then this giant building started calling my name, and man oh man, I can't resist. This is the museum, and this is its curator, Blathers. Suddenly the fossils I've been finding are starting to make a lot more sense. And then Blather reaffirms this by telling me that he displays things of great paleontological importance, a sentence that I wholeheartedly understand. He accepts paintings, bugs, fish, and fossils, and it looks like generosity is on the menu tonight because I have not 1, not 4, but 3 fossils that I can donate. Never mind then. Turns out in order to give these things to Blathers, I need to first send them away to a different museum for assessment. That's a buzzkill. Well, while I'm here, I might as well see what exhibits they already have. Let's have a look at the fish. There's none. Moving abruptly onto the fossils. Nothing. There's not a bug in sight, which is something you'd have to actively try to achieve. And there's no artwork. Are you sure you don't just want to take the non-assessed fossils? Alright, it's still raining, but man, listen to this music. How could I possibly go indoors with this thing playing? Unfortunately, there isn't really a great deal for me to do out here. I tried to go fishing, but with only a shovel, it's proving to be more difficult than I anticipated. Well, maybe I'll have better luck with the bugs. I just have to find them first. Which is also easier said than done. Hold the fucking phone. I found a football. This is the greatest pleasure. Hell yeah, FIFA, eat your heart out. No! Holy wow, it got dark out. But that's fine because it's still raining, which means the mission to be wet is still on. And hey, Hambo's out. Let's go see how he's doing. Alright, he's telling me I can grow my own trees with the extra fruit that I have, which is a lifesaver. I'm so sick of buying a brand new cherry tree every time I need cherries. Well, let's put my newfound knowledge to the test. I'm gonna try and plant a tree nearby my place. Well, that was underwhelming. Alright, maybe that spot wasn't good enough for that tree. Let's try planting another one over here. Still disappointing. Huh. Well, I think the only thing to do in a pickle like this is to reach out to the good people of Robodome. Let me just ask, does anybody have any tree growth hormones? And we'll wait to see what people come back with. While I wait for that, I think I'm gonna go talk to Daisy. Well, f*** you too! Breaking and entering is way a thing in this game, and letting ourselves into Daisy's house reveals... Oh. I get what's going on here. I'm just not good enough for Blathers to want to assess my fossils, but Daisy gets her fossils assessed whenever she damn well pleases. That is bullshit, good sir! I realised it's been a while since I remembered that the well was there, so I'm gonna ask it how it's hanging. And then it gives me some preachy riddle about Acre B1. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to eject this thing from my memory again. Out of curiosity though, I did head up to B1 and... Hell yeah, I'm rich! Again! It is still raining out, so we're better to go than the beach. And, there's a dead guy here. It totally slipped my mind that I'm bafflingly good at confusing dead people with asleep people. I've been to some really awkward funerals. This guy's named Gulliver, and apparently he fell off his ship. Alright, I'm not sure what my beach has to do with that, but I'll hear him out. He rambles on about falling asleep on a jellyfish. I somehow doubt that's recommended. And then he gives us a random item. He's plotting something. I mean, come on, he washes up on our shore and immediately tries to buy our trust? Something's fishy about this guy. I knew it! He seems to be planning something around Sven's house. Man, if he blinked at Sven the wrong way, he'd perish. I better go warn him. Luckily for me, he's right outside his house. But unluckily for me, he'd rather tell me about his get-rich-quick schemes than listen to what I have to say. Wait. Where the hell did Gulliver go? He's completely gone! My burglar sensors are going off the fucking charts. I need to go report this to somebody. When you've just spotted someone who puts the entire security of your town at risk and anxiety reigns supreme, where better to go than the Lost and Found facility? Copper, you've got to know what's going on. He parked his feathery arse on our beach illegally. Make him bust! Well, he was absolutely no help whatsoever. And I can't imagine Buka will be any more helpful. But he let me take a lily pad table, so it's fine. He also let me take this dice top. Man, I am the coolest person in town. Oh god, Sven's inside. Maybe Gulliver got him. I better go check on him. Holy shit. He has a nice house. He puts my bugs up to shame. I didn't even know that was possible. Well, I best go back out and check for Gulliver again, and never mind, there's a basketball. Hell yeah! Not again! The rain is back, everybody. Thank God. But I have an umbrella now, so I'm unstoppable. Seems like Tabby has the same idea, so why not talk to her? Okay, and she wants me to send her a letter. The paper would get soaked. But she calls me a pill, and little does she know that I have deep-rooted family history surrounding that word, so I am taking this very seriously. That'll show her. It's time to make a few new additions to my house. 2 gyroids, a lily pad table, and a fucking bear. It's perfect. Alright, so Nook's granny is closed, which definitely throws off 90% of my plans for the rest of the night. But the Abel Sisters are here to save the day, and because of that, I think I will make a pattern after all. Now, the pattern I want to make must be a perfect representation of everything we stand for as a town. It has to fully capture the essence of Robodome in just one mess of pixels. And with that in mind, I give you my masterpiece. Could it have been anything else? It's getting pretty late here. Everybody seems to be asleep, but the museum is still open. Too bad there's nothing to do there. So what better way is there to burn the midnight oils than by making music? And with that, Robodome is peaked because there is no town that's any better than us now. And there's also no way that we can get any better after such a momentous development. Man, I wish someone was awake to hear my composition. Oh well, I'll just have to wait until never mind Hambo is awake! Lay it on me, buddy. What do you think of it? And this is why we can't have nice things. Alright, well I think I'm gonna hit the hay. I've been up for 18 hours more than I usually would have been. Everybody's asleep. Except Blathers. Everywhere's closed. Again, except Blathers. And there's just not really anything more I can do with only a t-shirt and a shovel to my name. Today was actually pretty fun, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't in need of some sleep right now. Oh, what the fuck? Well, that was the coolest invasion of privacy I've ever seen. That's not... F*** it. Literally everyone in the town is asleep. Great. I'm so tired. Why am I not allowed to sleep? I've achieved absolutely nothing in the past 5 hours, and it's about to be the start of a brand new day. How the hell am I expected to... I'm not even going to question how I got into bed, but what I will question is, how the hell do I feel so well rested? Today was pretty fun, but I didn't really achieve all too much. Oh well, hopefully tomorrow can be a better day. I didn't really achieve all too much. Oh well, hopefully tomorrow can be a better day. Hopefully tomorrow can be a better day. Today was pretty fun. Today was pretty fun. Didn't really achieve all too much. Today was pretty fun. Today was pretty fun. Oh well, hopefully tomorrow can be a better day. Today was pretty fun. Oh well, hopefully tomorrow can be a better day. Tomorrow can be a better day. What? I've had enough of this! I am sick and tired of this shit. How many days do you expect me to do the exact same thing from the second the day begins to the second that it ends? I haven't slept in weeks. I haven't seen anybody in weeks. The only thing I've eaten is the fucking fruit that grows in this town, and I can't take it anymore! How do you expect me to live every day the same way? How do you expect me to devote every single ounce of energy within me to meandering around a vacant town and talking to animals? I did this to escape my old life, and all I've done is suffer. And the worst part is, there is no out. No matter how hard I try to find one, there is no escape. Wait, no. No, that can't be true. There's always a loophole, that's just a fact. But the only question is, where? That's it. This is my escape. If I'm gonna live every second of every day in this town, then I'm gonna do it on my terms. This is my escape. A staple of the Animal Crossing series, and one of its largest appeals in my opinion, is its inclusion of real-world holidays. There are so many included in this game, and this is done because the game relies on a real-world clock. It's April Fool's Day in real life, it's April Fool's Day in Animal Crossing. Unless you mess with the clock. So even though it's only May, I think it's time to finally have some fun with this. Let's see what this game has on the table for Halloween! It is disappointingly June-flavoured in here. Well, at least Robodome will be feeling festive. On the Halloween event, we played Trick or Treat with all of our villagers. And man, the spooky atmosphere is absolutely top-notch in this game, even compared to the others in the series. This is so much fun, and it's also so much Christmas. I don't make the rules. Toy Day, as the game calls it, sees us getting a present from Jingle. Neat. And then changing into different clothes to trick him into giving us another present. Neat! More fun robbery. How else would I spend Christmas? But an even better question is, how would I spend New Year's? I'm not even doing this myself at this point, the game just knows I need some feel-good right now. When New Year's Eve rolls around, Robodome pulls out all the stops. We have a giant countdown clock, we have a boatload of fireworks that we can only see from the river because of the perspective of the game, everybody's out enjoying the night, it's a great time. My god, how had I not thought of time travelling before now? If you ask me, this is how Animal Crossing is meant to be played. Damn it, why do my actions have to have consequences? Am I supposed to understand what's being said here? When the hell did you get in here? But your rules were driving me insane. That's no life. Doing the same meaningless tasks every hour of every day. Nobody deserves to live like that. And my name isn't Rick! Whoa there, I didn't realise this was a dictatorship. Oh, Jesus Christ, he hits hard. What the hell do I do here? That's it. If you're so concerned about doing things your way, then surely you wouldn't mind spending the rest of your life in your own board game. But that's the one thing that your perfect plan missed. You didn't account for the fact that I'm an idiot with money. And you also didn't account for this! Well, after spending the past few weeks of my life playing Animal Crossing and nothing but Animal Crossing, I sure do have some opinions. I can see that it's a good game. Hell, I might even go as far as to call it a great one. But it is just not a game I can play for long periods of time. You will run out of things to do in this game pretty goddamn fast. And if that can happen in just one day, imagine playing it for 13. But that's the thing about life simulator games. They aren't supposed to be played like any other genre. They're at their best when you can turn them on and play for half an hour every so often. They are designed to be played in short bursts. If you can get more playtime out of them than that, then that's great. And if you are one of those people, Animal Crossing is a damn near perfect game for you. But if you're expecting this game to hold your attention and keep you busy all day, every day, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. And if you're being forced to play this game for the rest of eternity against your will, then fuck this game.